Hey guys, um, I was just thinking I want to do one more video for you guys today because I got to let you know I was in a really tough spot, really tough spot Thursday and then up until Friday morning. And little backstory, years ago, I was here in Bellingham and I was really irritated for some reason. I couldn't figure it out. I had terrible stomach pains. My hair was falling out. I was really angry and upset. And Jen and I were bickering and waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning with lots of worry and concern, and my stomach hurt. And I was like, what is going on? I solved these problems many years ago. And just a shortcut version of this story, my hairdresser was the one that figured it out and told me. She said, you got to get off of Wi-Fi, man. And we looked under the rental that we were in. We were in an Airbnb for a month, and there was a wireless router thing emitting EMFs, emitting the Wi-Fi signal stuff under our bed. And it's when I realized, oh my goodness, a lot of my symptoms, and especially a lot of Ben's symptoms at the time, he was 2 and 3, right around there, 2 years old. And Jen's symptoms, she was also really irritated and having belly pain and waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was from the Wi-Fi, from the cell phones. And we had a new iPhone that we've been using, and we're using it a lot. And so what happened Thursday was I was on a podcast, Spiritual Awakenings podcast, Michelle, I believe is how you say her name. And it was all set. And I said, hey, can we do it over the computer? Because I'm hardwired in and I don't like to use cell phones because it causes all sorts of problems for me. And they said, yeah, we'll use Skype. Well, it turns out she was in the mountains somewhere and it wasn't working, and I wasn't being able to get on, wasn't getting on, and I was getting so frustrated. And I thought, what the heck? And so I went to my little cell phone, my flip phone, and it wasn't charged up. And I'm like, okay, Jen, I got to use your iPhone. So I turned on the iPhone. It still makes me dizzy even to think of it. And I was on the podcast for a while, and it threw me into a loop. So it brought up all my symptoms. I was total brain fog. I couldn't think. I couldn't see. I was like just feeling so ill. I couldn't open my eyes, and I had to get myself back. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did, because one thing that we do is we leave our computers hardwired here, and we don't turn on our cell phone very rarely. Jen does a little bit, but I make sure I stay away. And we don't turn it on in the car very rarely, because that acts like a microwave oven. Literally, you're really microwaving your brain. And the research about what happens to little kids' brain is horrendous. It's why there's a lot of OCD and ADHD, that and some of the stuff that's been going on, with the vaccines, which is so sad. But yeah, the cell phones can cause a lot of problems. And my podcast manager was like, so what happens when you have your cell phone? And I told her, my hair falls out, my belly hurts, I wake up at 3 o'clock, I have a lot of anxiety, and things just feel awful, brain fog. And she's like, oh my God, well, from now on, it's all on desktop for you. If they can't do it that way, we won't do it. And so how I got myself out of it was a little, what's called a neurofascial process. It's a simple technique. And you can put one hand on your heart and one hand over your eyes and your forehead and the bridge of the nose, and just stay there for 20 minutes. And so I did that a bunch Thursday. I just laid on the couch and I propped myself up, and I did this simple thing: 20 minutes, rest a while, 20 minutes, rest a while, and it cleared. And I was able to be with my clients in a good way, and then sleep through the night. And a lot of times I would wake up and then that one night and just do this again. And it's a really powerful thing. And so it's what I use to get out of that funk. And so what I recommend to people is to really consider how much cell phone you're using. I know a lot of us are entrepreneurs and we use our cell phones and we have our kids and we think we have to always know what's going on in the world scrolling. But I tell you, a lot of the symptoms that people are having are directly related to cell phones. And if you want more information, PM me, message me, and I can send you over the research and the stories and how to fix this thing up. But you want to have distance between you and Wi-Fi routers and cell phones, and you want to minimize use if you want to get rid of some of these symptoms. So if you're dealing with anxiety or belly pain, I actually had 2 clients that had ulcerative colitis that were literally bleeding blood out of their rectum, and none of the medical stuff had been working. We were working on all sorts of stuff with nutrition and energy and everything, And it was when we turned off their cell phones and got their computers hardwired that it all stopped. So, you know, my podcast manager was like, kind of like talking like, well, that's weird that you have that kind of thing. She didn't say it quite like that, but I said, yeah, a lot of people have all sorts of stuff. They just don't realize where it's coming from. So the way I got out of it was this for 20 minutes at a time. And then we just made a rule that I don't get to be around cell phones again. I broke that rule, and I had a tough day with it, but I wanted to give you that information because it's really valuable. So have a great day. Let's get out there and heal ourselves and heal the world.